All right, this is a separate video. I thought I was originally going to make this, I was going to put this all in one long video, but now I've decided it would be better to talk about these two issues that have come into my awareness in separate videos. And again, what brought this all on was how so much of the conservative or right-wing press is just reactive, in the sense that it's all like, oh, look at this outrage. Look at what was done here. Look at what they're doing over here. Look at what they're allowing over here. Look at these clear double standards. And but it doesn't really go beyond that. And it's just sort of like, okay, just get angry about this, but be impotently angry about, which it doesn't do a lick of good to be impotently angry. What I think is more useful is to look at, if you're going to pay attention to the news at all, which again I think is maybe not such a great idea at all in the first place. If you're going to pay attention to it, don't be demoralized by it. Don't be outraged. Don't just fret and fume with outrage. And stamp your feet, and just and all that. But ask yourself, what's behind this story? What's really going on? Now, the story I'm going to talk about now is a much more outrageous one than even the one I said. The one about the graffiti art in the Anglican Cathedral in Canterbury, England. That's outrageous in itself, but this one screams out to heaven as an outrage against a person and a clear miscarriage of justice. So there's a girl named Maya Aberg, or Maya Aberg, 16-year-old Swedish girl, and she was reportedly raped by an immigrant. Boy, isn't that a surprise? You never hear a story like this. European girls and women raped by migrants. That just never happens, right? Well, believe it or not, I guess it's man bites dog, because in this case it happened. But she was allegedly raped by 18-year-old migrant Yazid Mohammed. And Mohammed was convicted and was given a 3-year sentence for raping a girl. That's already pretty weak, but the true outrage of the story is that the court in Sweden that looks at cases where migrants commit crimes and determines whether or not it was a bad enough crime that they should be deported. That court has decided that what this migrant did wasn't really so bad. That the fact that this migrant raped this girl isn't so bad, and doesn't demand his deportation. And the exact wording I don't have in front of me, but to summarize, and again, you can look this up. You can find this story online as well, even though of course the mainstream media is not covering it. Surprise, surprise, but there you go. It's the way things are. But what the reason that they gave was that the rape really wasn't that bad, because it didn't last that long. This is honestly what they said, and it would be funny if it wasn't so it wasn't so awful. They said, well, yeah, he raped her, and that's bad. I mean, it's bad and all that he raped her, but it was over pretty quick. So it wasn't that. So we don't have to deport this guy, because it was just it wasn't that traumatizing to this 16-year-old girl to get raped, because it was over pretty fast. If it had been some extended thing, if it had gone on for longer and maybe been more aggravated, then maybe we could talk about deporting him. But in this case, nah. There's rape, but it wasn't. Like Whoopi Goldberg said, it wasn't rape about something that involving Bill Clinton. I can't remember the exact circumstances there. That it wasn't rape. It might have been a rape, but it wasn't rape. That's sort of what they're saying here. This is a board that's run by, leftists, including feminists. So that's something to take note of. That for these European, militant feminists, if a girl is raped by a migrant, that's something that's not really that bad. We should come to the defense of the poor migrant boy who raped this girl, because oh well, it wasn't that bad. He didn't put her through that much. He raped her, but he didn't rape her for that long. I mean, this is what, and this again, this is kind of when you break down the story and you look at it, you see the ways in which leftist dogma has these consistent contradictions, right? Rape is the worst thing ever. If a man is accused of a rape, he must be guilty. Believe all women, right? These are the things that they say. But when it's a migrant doing it to a native, a white native European girl, then it's, oh well, let's not go too far. Let's not get carried away. We should have some mercy on this poor guy, because he's from, I don't know, he's from a disadvantaged background. I don't know what kind of how they would, what kind of rubbish take they would use to supposedly justify having mercy in this particular case. But what they actually said out loud, and this should be something, again, people should be, I would not think it would be inappropriate to get out in the streets non-violently, but to show your extreme anger about this, which I doubt will happen in Sweden, unfortunately. But anyhow, what I think the useful thing to say about this is, again, that it lays bare. First of all, this is a story they're going to want to make disappear. This is a story they're not going to want to talk about. They're going to want to ignore as much as they can. They'll try to keep it out of the headlines. A few outlets will cover it. But we see that feminism is a farce. Western feminism is a farce. If it's between a white woman and a migrant, a rapist migrant, who gets more points? The rapist migrant does. He's the one we should have pity on, not the white girl who got raped. And of course, it's extremely different if it wasn't a migrant. If it was another white, if it was a white man, the verdict would be quite different. But since it's a migrant, he's a protected class, And that shows you that, well, number one, that feminism is a sham and a scam, and totally and completely inconsistent, but consistently inconsistent, right? Because they only want to talk about rape in certain cases, but not in other cases. They don't want to talk about migrant rape at all. That's racist. It's racist to talk about non-white migrants raping white girls or white women. And this, I think, it shows again what they really are, where they really stand, and where we stand with them. Where we stand in regard to them. And this helps us to know. I mean, this forewarned is forearmed, or forearmed is forewarned. How does it? I'm not sure which is the right phrasing there. Forewarned is forearmed, I think. If you know that the establishment doesn't give a shit about you, isn't going to protect you, then you should plan accordingly. Whatever that means, you should be look into your own self-defense. Unfortunately, in Sweden, it's probably illegal to own guns, right? But do what you have to. Do whatever you can. Of course, the situation is intolerable. That's without question the case. But to dwell on again, just like with the cathedral story, to dwell on the outrage, to dwell on the anger. I mean, the outrage and the anger is, it's natural. It's understood. We're all angry. We're all outraged by these things. But we have to get past it in a way. We have to think it through. We have to be analytical, and have to come to conclusions about the people such as the ones who make up this court, which include these radical leftist feminists, white feminists. Hell, if one of these, if a radical feminist got raped by a migrant, she'd probably say, "Oh well, he didn't mean to. It wasn't that bad," or I shouldn't report this. I mean, it goes that far. Believe me when I say it goes that far. The desire to not want to be seen as a far right racist, which you are. You're a far right racist if you draw attention to the fact that migrants rape white women to a far greater proportion than other demographics, which happens to be reality. So ideology trumps reality to these people. And again, forewarned is forearmed, or forearmed is forewarned. Whatever. All right. Leave your thoughts below. Thanks for